Welcome back. We turn our attention now to politics in Kogi State. Mr. Frank Shaibu joins us now. He's the communication manager to Kogi State Governor. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
Well, let's start off with that point of argument between both parties, the APC and the PDP. Is this bailout funds? There was a lot of confusion about it, but we understand that the PDP accusing the APC of what? Hindering, or is it putting a stop to their receiving the bailout funds? What exactly is the issue here?
Well, thank you very much. I think that's one major issue that has been in the front burner. And incidentally, I think 2 days ago I heard the former spokesman of the APC, now the Minister of Information. I read him when he issued his statement. I read him in most of the papers when he said, we as a government, we needed to clear. We needed to clear some issues before we could access the bailout funds. And I was wondering when he became the spokesperson of the Central Bank of Nigeria. But all I know is that he was the spokesperson of the APC and now the Minister of Information for the APC-led federal government. But interestingly, I want to say that the bailout fund has been politicized by the APC. And their candidate, that is Mr. Abubakar Audu, as well as his running mate, Mr. Faleke, have been moving from one campaign rally to the other, telling the people that, look, as far as they are concerned, they have done what needs to be done for us as a government to access the bailout fund. And we begin to ask, is the bailout fund a presidential benevolence, or is it a loan? Simple question. You see, but we are clear-eyed, yes.
Is that in written context or just already?
Not just already.
I mean, what you say they said.
With profound respect, we have them on tape. We have them on tape, and it's in the print media. At least it was said in more than 2-3 different rallies, 2 different rally grounds. So basically, they have never denied that. 2 weeks ago, in fact, the spokesman for the Abubakar Audu campaign organization came to issued another statement saying that, the Governor Wada never even applied for bailout fund, and that he had information at his disposal that we never applied for it. That was 2 weeks ago. And only 3 days ago, the spokesperson of the APC, now the Minister of Information, came out to say, yes, they applied for it, but by the way, what are they doing with 45 billion naira?
Just a moment, can we, sorry to interrupt you, but can we start from the beginning?
Yes.
In terms of, Kogi State's application for bailout funds.
Yeah.
Can you start from there?
Basically, before the window of opportunity for the application for bailout fund was opened by the federal government, which is supposed to be what we call the lowest interest rates you can find in terms of facility by any government. And when the federal government provided that window, Kogi State went in presenting all his papers to apply for that fund. What did we do as a government? What we did was simple. All we needed to pay to pay arrears of civil servant salaries as well as our pensioners own their gratuities and pensions from 1991 when the state was created. Even when Mr. Abubakar Audu ruled as governor, the governor had cleared all those outstandings. So whatever was left, the man said, okay, this is a window of a small interest rate of about 9%. Why not let me use this window judiciously? By doing that, he applied for the bailout fund, submitted the BVN, as all the requirements that were needed were submitted by the state government. But interestingly,
how much should you apply for?
We applied. Interestingly, we applied for about 80.5 billion naira. Before this, yes, 80.5 billion.
80.5
yes.
billion?
Yes. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Before the CBN will even grant you the facility to access the bailout fund, before you are granted that opportunity, your indebtedness, your level of indebtedness to the commercial banks will determine how much you can access. The state government, Kogi State government, is the least in terms of indebtedness to commercial banks. So our indebtedness to commercial bank is below 1 billion naira.
Okay.
It's below hold on, with profound respect. It's below 1 billion naira. And so, the Debt Management Office, that is the DMO, was asked, okay, restructure the indebtedness of these states first. So when they restructured the indebtedness of states, of all the 36 states, to commercial banks, Kogi State's own was restructured, as it were, and it was below 1 billion naira. And in fact, for the purpose of this discussion, I'll be using...
Is it after the restructuring that you were owing below $1 billion before it?
Before the restructuring, we were owing less than $1 billion naira.
So
and what we did was simple.
What they did was they extended the period over which you will pay.
Over which we will pay. If we were supposed to be paying monthly about 100 and something million naira, it now came to about 10 million naira to now pay monthly.
Okay.
When restructured. Now, interestingly, because it was a window, as a government, at no time, we saw that the local government, our local government, which is the third tier of government, had a problem because of the shortfall in revenue and the shortfall in allocation. So, and they've been paying salaries in fractions and in percentages. And this was occasioned more so that the state government, that is Kogi State, is one of the first states in Nigeria to implement full minimum wage for its civil servants across board. When I mean across board, for both the state civil service and the local governments. So because of that, when you juxtapose what we pay, if you place it side by side with what comes in terms of federal allocation and the revenue profile of the local governments as it were, they could not meet up the payment of these salaries. So what the local government started doing was to pay salaries in percentages. And when the window of bailout came, the state government now said, okay, look, yes, this is a third tier of government, but we can act as a surety and as a guarantor because they cannot access this same facility called the bailout. So we will now stand in gap for them, take the facility on their behalf, for them to clear all their outstanding in terms of percentage, not outstanding salaries, but percentages that were accrued over time, which was why the state took that facility.
Okay.
Applied for that facility, which the CBN approved. And we didn't stop at the local government staff. We went on again to look at the outstanding for pensioners.
Oh, has the CBN spoken about why that fund has not been accessed?
No, you are aware. You are aware that the CBN released a list of 19 states that they had approved the release of bailout funds to. And Kogi was one of those states. Okay. And it is now preposterous to the chagrin of Nigerians, where we have a government that plays on double standards. The spokesman of the APC came out to tell Nigerians that, look, why is Kogi applying for 50 billion naira? I'll tell you, I'm taking you somewhere. And I asked, because Kogi is a PDP state.
Just a moment.